I spent the last 6 months trying to find the most ideal system of content creation to work with what I do on YouTube. For those who are unaware, here's what I'm doing right now. So I make videos about whatever I want on this channel. I plan and do cover songs on my music channel. I work on more film-centric projects with my partner on Honey Butter Studios. Oh, and I'm a writer for an upcoming idol group, which I'll probably talk about another time. So when I'm looking for my ideal system, what do I mean? Considering I have the most stereotypical definition of a writer, I need to be able to have something to store my notes immediately, even if it's 3 in the morning. I need to be able to access these notes instantly when I sit down to write. When it comes to production, I need to be able to see who's involved, what do I need, who's recording, and when do we record. And all that should be sent and easy to understand for me, my cast, and my crew. I want as little distractions as possible with my system. No need for their fancy graphics or figuring out what keybind goes for what heading. It can really take you out of your flow and not really be as productive as you want when you're writing. And to top it off, I want to be able to categorize and organize everything in a system that's easy to understand with anyone. I ain't interested in wasting time with a Dewey Decimal level of organization bullshit. Seems like a lot to ask. And it is. I experimented with a lot of systems on how to organize, manage, and categorize stuff like this. But thanks to some searching, figuring out, experimenting, and trying out what softwares and what systems work for me, I think I finally want to show you what and how I work with project management. Phase 1, the scribbling. This one doesn't really require any special tools or software. Here's what I use. That's pretty much it. I always have my phone with me, so every time I have an idea in the middle of the night, I can just either text it out or voice message it.
Idea for Honey Butter Short. So this one is called
But for the longer form stuff, voice notes aren't just gonna cut it. That's where I go into brainstorming with a notebook. Because I'm a boomer who still uses pen and paper notebooks to write. I have a few drafts and bits of scripts in this actually. That I fully wrote therapy on this, and there's a bunch of honey butter and like idol group stuff in this. It's kind of cool. And then when I think I have enough material to go, I either export the phone notes into Evernote, or I just rewrite these physical notes into Evernote. Now that I had them available on my PC, I export the Evernote files into a converter program which turns them into markdown files after some polishing. Why markdown files? That leads to the next phase of my system. Phase 2, the writing. Something I wanted early off was a really smooth and snappy way to write. Because let's be honest, writing is what I do best. And oddly enough, writing is what I struggle the most at. Blame it on writer's block with a strive for quality, I guess. And it's worse when you're writing with an app that has a lot of extra features. From the right font and color for the heading, the right font and size for the body text, making sure the page layout's right, making sure the outlining actually works, the ability to add comments and notes for you to write in real time, and then by that, you've lost hours doing nothing. That's where Markdown comes into play. With a documentation that is super easy to understand, key bindings for headings just being typed into existence, and a robust export system into whatever font you want, this format was a match made in heaven for me. Plus, whatever extra things the language can't do, you can just do with basic HTML knowledge. Now, what app can do this in a really clean interface? Enter Typora, which brands itself as a really minimal app to type with. And after writing a couple things with Typora, I am never going back. Also, let me just make it absolutely clear that I do not write screenplays with Typora. There's another set of softwares that just deal with character databases and nice formatting. Actually, screw it. Here's my screenwriting softwares that I used over the years.
What else?
I started with Celtics in 2016 after a recommendation from Stampy Longhead. I would say the video which I got it from, but I forgot.
So I'm using something called Celtics, which is like CELTX.
Then after they started to put a monthly paywall behind writing free scripts, I moved on. I kept hopping between Trelby and Drama Queen, but nothing really fit for me. That is until I found Faden. Free software to write scripts for like, I don't know, a couple months. But then I just found out that there's a free trial of this expensive software. Look at how fucking clean this all is. I fell in love immediately. So I blew $120 for it because I knew I would use it for a long time. And it's been 2 years, and I still do. Every single script that I've written from then on is from Faden. From Honey Butter scripts to short sketches for this channel, and everything in between. Which segues onto the next phase of my setup. Now that you've written the stuff, how do you actually handle the production? From the videos on this channel to a full mini-series. Let me introduce you to Phase 3. The planning. I tried out different softwares for this phase alone, but then I finally settled on, and because of that, I moved everything from Evernote into Notion. Notion is a huge database app that just stores whatever you want in whatever way you want. This is where customization is helpful, so you can tweak what the features are given to you into the way and how you want to use them for. Let me show you how I tracked my first mini-series for Honey Butter. I had everything to do with the series in one page for easy reference, from the story flow to everything needed with production, which is a really comprehensive database which was super easy and intuitive to do. It features a cast list, who's the cameraman, when we filmed it, status updates for when I was editing it. It had notes from me as I made sure of the editing consistency inconsistencies with each episode. I also have a separate table for the thumbnails, which I just sent to the thumbnail artist, populated with the descriptions I need for each thumbnail, plus what characters are used. This was kind of my big binder during production and post-production of this series. There's a binder? As we decided on schedules, for me to track my own progress, and having all the essential info in a very accessible and condensed way, and it was all possible with Notion. Actually, here's another example. This video. I recently started to develop a similar approach to albums with D.Na and videos for this channel with the planning process. I have different categories, timeline tracking, and clear statuses for what video is where in the pipeline. It's both visually nice and keeps me motivated to write more, record more, and have more ideas. Hell, this entire video was written over the span of 2 days. I think the editor is gonna put in how many days it took to edit and record. And I didn't even put it in the database until writing this script. So yeah, that's how the pipeline's gonna work for me. Is it set in stone? Of course not. Things like this change when you have different variables and different software to try, but as it is right now, I'm pretty happy with it. I've been making YouTube videos on and off for the past 8 years at this point, and as my life became more busy, I never stopped loving creating stuff. It just took on different media, from podcasts to music to short sketches, and full circle right where it all began. And with my channel recently having exploded, I figured now would be a good time as ever to say thank you. Thank you for watching, for rating, for the support, for all the comments. I stopped caring about numbers for a while, but I'm still pretty thankful that you're here. Just don't expect I'll have shit posts from me anytime soon, because that's not what I like to do here. Although if you're here for only those, I just have one request. Go watch the other videos. I put a lot more thought, time, effort, and passion into those. Who knows? Maybe you might like what you see. But for now, that's all. And thank you for watching. Bye.